1962 in its first incarnation as a Formula One venue when it hosted the non-championship race. That was the race, unfortunately, in which one of the brothers who this circuit is named after, Ricardo Rodriguez, he sadly passed away following a fatal accident. This stream has got dark very quickly, I apologise, but he was the youngest driver to die in a Formula One race. He was 20 years old at the time. But nonetheless, we race in his memory and the memory of his brother, Pedro Rodriguez, who won 2 Formula One Grand Prix before also passing away in an accident, I believe, at the Norris Ring in Germany. Not named after Lando Norris, I can assure you, because that accident happened in 1970. But now we are loading into the qualifying session as I get my morbid fact curiosity out of the way just to begin with. And as I said, I am joined in the commentary box by our friend Yoshi here, and we have a full grid. So what do you expect of this 18-minute qualifying session?
We expect it to be brilliant, but before we do qualifying, we want to say the results for last time, because we forgot to do that last time as well in Kota last weekend. So we will do the results just before we forget.
We can have a look at the results from the previous event. Yes, let me just get them up because I didn't necessarily remember them. So the last time out, it was Kevin who took the victory, followed by Nico. So now I remember actually now his remarkable drive to P2, and then Ruben, Tiaz, and Boti rounding up the top 5. In terms of the driver standings, which is where the results of that will mainly manifest in, Kevin remains in the championship lead, and he's now 31 points clear of his teammate Tiaz Korsman, who didn't even get a top 5 finish, I don't believe. So that was an awful day for him. And Kevin, after many years of bottling, not really having the outright pace to beat guys like Ruben, like Tiaz last season, he's got almost a race wins advantage over the drivers around him in the drivers' standings. And there's still a lot of rounds to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 races remaining in the championship, so he could easily be caught. But as long as he keeps chipping away, I think he's either a 5 or 6-time champion. I'd need to redo all my numbers because apparently my statistics are slightly wrong. But he's getting on to start a lap here in Mexico. The first driver to set a flying lap here. He's deploying that ERS. He'll deploy that down to around 50%. I believe he'll try and deploy it pretty much down the entire straight, because the 2 main straights are the places where you'll gain the most speed. He hits 340 kilometers an hour as he makes his way down towards the first braking zone, all the way through turn 2 and 3, clattering over those curves confidently. Doesn't use all of the road, but he uses enough to be able to get the most out of the car for now. Obviously, a very green track, you won't have as much grip to use all of the circuit available. Nicely done through the chicane. Now into Orkia, the awkward double right-hander that he's managed to navigate perfectly fine. And now into the S's. This is the apex just slightly through the entry, but again, these are the first day. Drivers will be determining just how much grip there is available on the tarmac, and now comes down into the off-camber right-hand corner that enters the stadium section. Now into the SA Day. I think it's the SA Day Sol it's called. But we come through round the little Mickey Mouse section, now into the final corner. He will shorten the run to the line, and this will be a good first lap from Kevin. At 1 minute 14.4 is a target for the rest of the drivers to try and match or beat.
Good lap for him indeed. Tiaz Korsman now starts a lap time as well. We've got some lap times as well. We finished with 1:53.2, Dennis over 1:16.47, Dutchy 1:16.846, roughly 2 seconds behind Kevin Van Dijk so far. So strong lap time, but we still got 40 minutes to go. Anyone can challenge this time. Yeah, this drag on the main straight. Looks like it's a Ferrari, I think, of G-Man Gaming. That's how to spin, I think. It's having slow on the main straight.
Unfortunate for him then, but we are currently have our eyes set on Tiaz Korsman now. Oh, very much missing the apex into turn 4, and trying to make his way through turn 5. He's very much trying to wrangle the neck of that car. You can see him aggressively churning away at that steering wheel. And I mean, it can work on this game. On Formula 1 games, we know of the aggressive wheel flicks that can work, but if you get it wrong, it can produce excessive understeer, and that's exactly what's just happened to Tiaz there. But nicely recovered through the S's. And I have a feeling this is going to be a lap that is good enough for second place, as Rivas has gone to provisional P2, only 200ths of a second faster than fastest. Just about reaches the apex very late on in the corner for Tiaz there. I'd say he needs to be mounting all over the curve if he wants to be extracting the most lap time. But he goes second, although he's not very close to Kevin, in fact, and he's only a 10th clear of third place Remus. Toro also on a flying lap. Can the pole from Poland put it on pole position? I don't know. I don't remember the last time that he did that, but he has done it before in his VDRL career. He's one of the what we'd call informally the OGs of the league, along with guys like Kevin, guys like Ruben and Remus. He comes up to the line. Oh, it's good enough for P2 and only 2 tenths behind Kevin, so that's the drivers we're currently looking at. R34 is returning to the league after it's got to be at least a season or two out of the game. So we love to see returning drivers like we've seen with Dutchy this season. It seems we've got a renaissance of some really big names. Not big names, I don't think R34 win, but he definitely had a couple of podiums during his time during his first stint in the league, as he now comes down to turn 1. A bit of a different ERS strategy from him, and he's not reaching the same top speeds, but we'll see what the Williams driver can do as we approach the first corner. Nicely done through turns 1, 2. Oh, loses the back end a tiny bit before 3, which compromises his exit on the way down to the small chicane here that will precede the double right-hander hairpin. Nicely done, just keeping it smooth, keeping it calm, keeping it collected. Not using all of the grass on approach, but he does get a bit of a snap of oversteer there. And that Alpine, unfortunately, was slightly in his way. I don't think it's worthy of a penalty, but that Alpine needs to be on the other side of the track, preferably so that whoever's approaching them can be on the preferred side of the circuit. It's not fully impeding, it's just being slightly in the way. Nicely done there. Bit of a wobble through the long right-hander and then into... Oh, it's the forward assault, that's what I remembered. Oh, but he did have a little bit of a wobble through the final bit, but no worries. Up to P6, and that is a decent enough, I suppose, lap time for him.
Yeah, he's got time to do it again, and like you said, doing ERS strategy, was he like getting used back to the car maybe? Because this is his first race back in VDRL for a while, so obviously he needs to get a feel of what the other drivers are probably doing at correct times, but I feel like he'll go again in a couple minutes time and improve, because he made a couple of mistakes which you can learn, but he's got time to do it again.
He does indeed. Track Racer, the driver we're on board with now in the Alpine. Unfortunately, does get lap time deleted on the inside of turn, I don't know exactly the number of that turn, I think it's turn 7. Track limits are a big issue around Mexico, just because on some parts of the circuit you have to run so close to the white lines, especially into this corner where you're essentially searching for that to be all 4 wheels over that curve. Even putting 2 wheels on the grass is the fastest way around this venue. You have to be somewhat capable of just having pinpoint accuracy, and if you're trying to go for that level of dedication and concentration, you're going to make an error somewhere down the line. So best to do it in qualifying, where you can recharge, go again, rather than in the race where it could dispel your afternoon and cause you severe problems. Froby does not take the esports line to the start-finish line, goes P13. Kevin Van Dijk on his second run here, that is a very much quicker lap time, and Tiaz starts his lap. Can he? He's now a full second behind his teammate. I mean, that's the type of gap you're going to see between Kevin and his former teammate, Timo, during previous seasons. But instead, it's between Kevin and Tiaz. If you'd have told me this before the end of last season, that Tiaz, who dominated the proceedings last time out, was going to be a second adrift of Kevin, I'd be like, you're having a laugh. But you were not indeed having a laugh. He's 700ths up on his previous best but he's got traffic to deal with, and although they have the option to get out of the way, they will be giving him dirty air from these corners, and that is a V-carb in front of him. There we go. I think that might be both.
Oh, his race time got deleted. Oh,
he did get his lap time deleted. Over the curb there he goes, and unfortunately for him, that means that he's not going to have that banker run that he needs. I mean, he's currently in third place, and considering the performance of the rest of the field, he should definitely still be top 5 after this set of runs, but he will not have that extra banker that he wants. Is Tiaz starting to crumble under the pressure of a title challenge? I mean, we see in real life what's happening to the McLaren drivers. We're on board with the McLaren driver now, where Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, I mean, neither of them are really championship title-worthy drivers. Both of them have shown multiple errors this season. They came to kind of like Lewis Hamilton in 2008 or Damon Hill in 1994, although he wasn't champion that year. And, I mean, Tiaz really isn't making a good name for himself. He has good peaks and he's been able to dominate some races, but other times he's been absolutely nowhere. And usually that's what you say for Kevin or other drivers, but now Kevin has finally stepped up for the first time since maybe season 5, season 6. We're now in season 10, I believe. Yeah, that is a fantastic job from him to finally get the mindset and finally get the will and the vim and the vigor to actually perform on this high level. Because when you get to this high level, it is all about execution. You can be as fast as you want, but if you can't execute, like that mistake from Toro there, if you can't execute, it may as well be for nothing. So Kevin is sitting pretty at the moment. Nico Sun has actually gone P3 ahead of Tiaz, so watch out for him, considering his run last time out in Kota and the relative similarity of the two circuits. Watch out for him as Remus up to the line. He goes P3 into the 1:14. This track, I believe, is ramping up in terms of grip, and I believe that if you go out on the last minute or so of the session, or if you cross a line, should I say, you're going to get the best track conditions, and you will see the advantage of that fastest. Currently P6. I think he's an Austrian driver. He usually is in the reaches of the midfield to the lower midfield. So him being up in 6th place is rather fantastic from the Sauberman. Obviously, that bogey car is providing a bogey unexpected result here. Clattering the curves the way you're supposed to, really, at this circuit. And now up to the start-finish line he comes, and what's it? P4. That's a decent enough time, and again up in 14. So Tiaz is constantly shuffling down this order. If he doesn't execute on that final run, he could be in for a whole world of trouble, considering that people are gaining about half a second on between their first and second runs, and I expect there to be even more improvement as we go from 5 minutes down to 4, 3, 2, and 1, mainly in the section. Serban in the Mercedes now on a flyer. Let's see what he can do now coming in towards the sector 1 split. He's very far down in his previous best. Either he made a catastrophic error, or this isn't a full push lap. I mean, he's not using ERS in the way you expect, so I don't believe this is.
He's 1.2 seconds down at the moment for Serban right now, so I think it might be an in-lap. We'll see his North sector split come up in the next couple of minutes. He's using DRS, he's got 90% battery, he's come back into this, 2 seconds down. Might be a warm-up lap though, because he's charging his battery.
Track Racer, meanwhile, goes into 2nd place. We were just monitoring him there. 5,000.
Oh, he's at a spin.
So
Quick out got a spin at the stadium section at the end of the whatever it's called. So that might ruin his warm lap, and he is coming back into the pits. So it's a job there.
It's all right. That's so yeah. Track Racer up to P2, 5,000 of a second quicker than Toro. Boaty, who has shown incredible qualifying pace in a couple of doses this season. He's had a couple of races, and in Miami, obviously took that pole position. He goes to 2nd place. Here we go. In these last couple of minutes, especially if Boaty can get in and out of the pits in 4 minutes and 20 seconds, which he should be able to do, we have a great fight for pole potentially on our hands. And Tiaz is down in 8th place at the moment. I mean, if we were to take the points gap for the race here, let me just quickly have a gander at what the points difference would be. So currently, if the race were to finish like this, Kevin would take 50 points and Tiaz would take 24. He would gain an extra. It would be like a 55-point gap lead in the drivers' championship. Tiaz needs to do something about his current form. The only thing that I can suggest might be hampering him, apart from just plain making errors, as we see Osman navigate the first sector, the only thing that, other than pure errors, that I can see can be affecting him is a potential difference in setup. Obviously, many different types of setups are available in this game. I mean, the fastest in terms of overall lap time, I believe, is a kind of around mid 20s to 30s on the wings, but one setup that will be incredibly good for race trim, but not necessarily for qualifying, is a very trimmed out, super low downforce setup, which might not provide much qualifying pace, but definitely in the races, if you can get a good start and hold people up on slower tyres because you're better on the straight line and worse in the corners, you'll have a massive advantage. And that's how game. Even though my fastest lap in the race was a second slower than all of the rest of the top 10, I was able to hold people behind by just using ERS down the straights, and they were not able to overtake me because I had such lower wings than they did. Gensier, who is currently 2.5 seconds adrift of Kevin's lap time, does improve to P13. Again, not using the esports line through the final corner. Clearly not a fully experienced driver there, but Eric also, what's happened to him?
No idea, but we have like an unsafe release down here, and Tiaz is now on track there. Multidar is now coming out on track with 2 minutes to go, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe some of the top drivers not used to this track, like I said, different setup around this one, but Tiaz has got one chance to get up on the order, because everyone is nearly out on track, just missing Dutchy and Boaty. Everyone's on track, apart from Nosa at the moment, but it's his last chance. It's the last chance for anyone to get higher on the grid. Especially for ACO, he hasn't even said a lap time yet.
I have a feeling that the reason why we're just seeing that McLaren cutting corners was because he was trying to get in and out of the pits. But even if he cut all those corners, he's not getting in and out of the pits in 1 minute 30 seconds. And not only has he just potentially put himself under investigation for, you can't cut corners in qualifying VDRL. He's putting himself under investigation for that, and he's not even going to get a... So he's shot himself in the foot. Vastus, meanwhile, was provisionally P4 earlier on. He's now in P6, makes his way down towards the first section of corners, clattering over those curves nicely. It's like a Red Bull soapbox race, where you get the ramps in those races where people drive cardboard or homemade structures down.
Homemade soapbox races, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's like that.
And he's clattering over the curbs and stuff, but he's gone wide. He's not gone wide. He's lost traction under throttle, and that's a bad moment for him. But I'll tell you who isn't having a bad moment right now. I believe that unless Tiaz was to pull out some magical lap, that Kevin wouldn't even need to do this final run because of how confident and how far out front in the lead he is. But nonetheless, he's trying it because he wants to maximise everything. And talking about maximising, it's 0.003 of a second. The gap between his previous run and the one that he's on now. He's trying to squeeze every single last bite of performance out of his arsenal. He could be the only driver into the 1 minute 13s. He could be the only driver to look somewhat faster around this venue. Checker flag is out and he's gone invalid. Boaty now, we're on board with. Into the first corner, misses the apex in turn 1, misses the apex in turn 2, and Classic gets it into turn 3. But will that be shown in his sector split here? Yes, it will. Sorry, 1.5 tenths down on his previous best. That is a lot of time to make up, considering he's 3 tenths down on him anyway. He'll have to gain half a second in the remainder of the lap if he wants to claim pole position. So I don't think it's going to be pole for him. Meanwhile, Tiaz hasn't to a provisional place. That's not enough, I don't think. I think that he's going to, unless he's got something up his sleeve in the race, that's going to be a very... Boaty is up. Botti is up. He's 1400ths up on his previous best. Track Racer goes to P2. If Botti can string together a good final sector, he could at least be on the front row, as Track Racer has now improved to go ahead of him. ERS deployed to the line. Can he Kevin? No, he can't, unfortunately, but he does improve to consolidate his P3 position. But Kevin is on pole position, and I mean, he looked like he was going to do that throughout the entire session, and he didn't even, as I said, and he still covered it by 2/10. But yes, that is your pole sitter for today's race. Track Racer takes second place alongside him on the front row, followed by Botti, Toto, and Tiaz rounding out the top 5, half a second behind his team. Remus will take P6, followed by Vastus, Nico Son Serban, ACM rounding out the top 10, then a Cypriot driver in the form of R34, then Luzcek, G-Man, Werner, Froby, Osman, Erihop, Pim Shooter, and Duchy rounding out the order, 2.5 seconds behind our leader. Now we will move into the race. 36 laps around the Autodromo Hermano Rodriguez, and we will see who comes out on top. What are you expecting to see in this race, Yoshi, and who do you think is going to take victory?
Who's going to take victory? Kevin's shown good qualifying pace. He could make it, but Botti's in the top 3 as well. It can be anyone for the win. We expect a lot of action this week. Hopefully more exciting than Kota, as people were saying to the chat last week. Not much action, so we're hoping to see a lot more action. But I'm going to say, for the win, Kevin Van Dijk.
We do hope indeed to see some action. It's the longest run down to turn 1 of any circuit on the calendar. Sergio Perez fans will know that very rightly from his accident here in, was it 2023 or 2024? I think it was 23 when he qualified.
23.
But yes, it's a very long run down to turn 1. You could be 2 or even 3 wide or even 4 wide is possible on your way down to the first corner. And it funnels down to that very tight and narrow section of corners where it will filter the field down and sort the men from the boys and the women from the girls and the other people from the other people. But we will soon get into action as we hear the all-famous, all-infamous in some instances countdown for the start of what hopes to be a fantastic race. We look to the lights, we look to the action, we look to the skies. 5 lights here in Mexico. We go, 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 go! Who's going to get the best start off the line? I think Kevin has managed to maintain his lead off the start, but Track Racer has followed him just behind. Botti also getting a good... He's going to look at the inside, 4 seconds leaving the lead. Track Racer around the outside. He's going to try and make the move. Is he going to get it done? He is. He's got the move, but he's going to have to leave space on the outside. He has been left room, and now they are battling him and Kevin down towards the 4th corner. This could be calamity for Kevin if he can't maintain this position, because his teammate Tiaz is now up into P4 and challenging for P3. Botti round the outside, but he backs out of that one. So it's a good tale for one of the Red Bull title contenders, but a bad tale for the other as they filter through this middle sector section now. We have a spinner at the back, and that is Pim Shooter, who has not had a good time of things there. The Ferrari man in contact between Jensier and Erihop there. That seemed like a carbon copy of Verstappen versus Norris in Mexico here. And I believe that the Jensier must have damage because he's now struggling to keep that thing on the road. Unfortunate for him there.
He's got probably come as well at the start turn 1 as well. So 3 contacts in the first lap. Crazy start there at the back.
It is a crazy start, I'll tell you what. Track Racer has pulled a good gap on Kevin at the moment, but he's being attacked with the ERS deployed for Kevin. He's looming large in the... We've seen other Alpine drivers earlier on in the season. Nilu Safu was in contention for many wins and even got a win earlier in the campaign. So hopefully for his sake he can bring Alpine back to the top 10. That is Toto overtaking Remus for 6th place. And the big gainers on the opening lap there were Nico Son and Werner. They're the only drivers to make up multiple positions on that opening lap. So those drivers looking to the best, while Froby and Jensier, the big losers in that startler with R34. Again, the only drivers who lost who lost more than 2 positions on the opening tour of the circuit. The possible race strategy, he says that you must do a 2-stop, but a 1-stop is easily possible around here. I did a 1-stop on a low downforce when I won my only league race on the game. So, so far, we do have a spin. That is Ferrari again of Pinto. Oh, it's D-Man. So, 2 Ferraris going for spins in the first 2 laps. I mean, considering how one of the Ferrari drivers in real life is performing, I think that it was him driving that car. But Kevin with the RS, with the ERS, is now challenging for P1 to the inside of Track Racer. He goes into the first corner, but Track Racer, you'd think that he would get the advantage into the second part of this next straight, but in fact, because the circuit has a double DRS protection zone, in fact, he will be under threat from Boaty if he's not careful. So he's going to claim the inside of the corner and attempt to claim the apex. And he does indeed do that. He's going to force Boaty out wide, but Boaty will not take no for an answer. And that is wheel banging there from Boaty. He had the right to be there, but Track Racer also had the right to turn in. So I'd call that a racing incident. But all this will do is it will allow Kevin to pull clear, and he will 710 gap as we come in towards the stadium section.
Yes, Mick, it's right behind Boaty as well. Almost overtook him, but right still behind now. So DRS minus system based behind the DRS train. It's where multiple cars are in the same DRS area. So that might cause disadvantage, but most are on the mediums. Oh, we've got a spinner. Pim Shooter has had the wall. We've got a virtual safety car as well. Pim Shooter has found the wall. He's still going by being his front wing.
That is commiserations and calamity for Pimp Shooter there. Two major spins, crashes in 2 laps, and he's still not in last place. He's not even close to last place, which is crazy. Oh. But yes, virtual safety car.
He's also coming again though. That's his second time in 4 laps. So, wait, 3 laps rim. So he's having a... Oh, never mind. It's his first coming damage. You know, hang on. I don't think he repairs... Oh, wait, that's someone else, I think. So weird, that one.
So, ACM in Ampin did come into the box, but now that has allowed Track Racer to catch back up to Kevin Van Dyke. It will have allowed both drivers to recharge their ERS. Kevin was quite strong on the ERS front anyway, so maybe that was in fact an advantage to Track Racer because he was able to gain more compared to Kevin. Indeed, Kevin has the maximum amount of ERS, so yes, Track Racer did indeed gain net ERS on the Alpine driver. Now coming through into the S's here, we will see just how well the drivers can follow each other. What's gone on?
Boaty's gone wide. That might open the door for Diaz, but I don't think it has because it went for the stadium. So Boaty got lucky, but I think he's starting to this whip out there because he's made a mistake, but he will have DRS still. But Diaz using ERS, trying to get ahead of Boaty, but he's getting him, but he's not getting it at the same time. So Boaty got lucky there, but Diaz might make it at the end. No, we'll see at the end of the second DRS.
This is the issue with DRS. When you're following the train, someone can unless it mistakes. Like Boaty just did, he missed the apex through turn 1. Tiaz does a tiny snap bonus here, but I think that we may see a battle for the lead as well as a third place here. Nicely done by Tiaz. He's now up into the podium positions, and he's done a good job to recover from a poor qualifying. Toro and Nico battling over 5th place now. Nice job from them. They are out of the DRS range of the leader. And on those medium tyres, I expect to see those drivers go maybe 14, 15, 16 laps before they come in for a second hard, which will take them all the way to the end. Stop here. Even on a setup that usually allows the tyres to spin more. That may have been a track limits warning for Tia. As we see battling into the stadium section, you don't use this, but Nico's parking the bus through the forward assault, and now contact between him and Nico's and Toro. I think Toro should easily get this move down into the first corner. He's got ERS and DRS advantage. He should be able to filter quite easily by the Aston. He does indeed. And now that's Remus essentially challenging up the inside as well. Don't miss your braking point. Nico-san decided to try and fight back against Toro as a way to defend from Remus. So it's eat or be eaten in this race, especially in this upper midfield battle. And nicely done there from the Racing Bulls man. And he remains in, the Aston Martin man, who remains in place.
Yeah, Boaty is actually Boaty under fuel. He's avoiding braking because his fuel light's going yellow, which means he's made it a less fuel tank. He's loaded his fuel run, and now he's had a spin. He's had a spin. He made a mistake, but he recovered it as well. Fucking major, but that's just cost him more time than might even go from Toro as well. Unfortunate there for Boaty.
Yes, it might do. We know Boaty. We saw him in Miami. He is, but he does make quite a few mistakes. And that was indeed one of them. I mean, fuel is not mega important around here, as we see Werner and R34 in stadiums are battling out for 11th and 12th points. This is why we need it. This is why the point system that gives rewards for all positions is good, because you get fights like this, and the positions that otherwise would not see any fights for. But yeah, I can't remember what exactly the point I was making was to begin with. But yeah, Boaty really needs to try and phase out those errors from his repertoire if he's going to actually try and challenge regularly for race wins here. Track racer Piaz now very much in the century, very much in the wake of Kevin here, and they will need to try and make hay on the driver in front of them, because otherwise they were just getting dirty air. What I just remembered I was going to say about Boaty was, if you're in Mega here, you can save about, depending on what setup you have, you can save about up to 3 laps of fuel during a 50% race. Even that's on a low downforce setup as well, where you can lift off and you can allow the fuel tank to recover some of the underfueling, which so I'm surprised that none of the other drivers as well, unless they are running higher downforce, therefore they don't have the ability to run low downforce systems. But it seems like it's going to be a difficult overtake for Track Racer. It seems like he's just about, I think he's just as quick as Kevin, not any faster, not any slower, and therefore he's getting caught in the dirty air. He gets remotely close with DRS, and great, and then through the middle sector, he gets caught in the dirty air, which puts him a few times back, and then it's just a vicious and recurring cycle. As now Remus overtakes Nikolson for 6th place there, and now that puts the RB drivers much closer to each other than they were a couple of laps ago. And a quarter of the way through this race, I believe that some drivers will be frustrated that they can't overtake. The leading trio especially so. But I mean, this is why Tiaz should have been better during qualifying, because if he'd been better during qualifying, he could have potentially had to go the lead more easily.
I think Genesis had a spin the win, and he has 4 spins. He's gone to the grass as well. I was going to say, the other struggling to overtake is Todd. He's struggling to overtake Boaty. Boaty has somehow found a quicker run. He's using less brakes, using ERS, but Toro really wants to get, but he can't do anything with his DRS. Gets close, but then his actual pace, hates it, slower than Boaty at the moment.
Yeah. Which is the way for Boaty to make another error. At this point in the race, Tiaz will be 46 points behind Kevin in the Drivers' Championship, which is almost a race win actually. Considering that Kevin got pole position, I'd have to double check on that, because I'm not sure what the point was. I think he did 3 points of pole position. So 49 points potentially he was behind, which is literally as close as you get to a race win. Toro indeed snapping the back end there. That might have been a warning for Craig Lewis as well for the Polish driver there. That is so unfortunate for him.
Hasn't got warning for it.
He hasn't got a warning for it.
No.
But he is now very close behind the back of Boaty. If he can just get a good run off the final corner, then he can potentially see himself past the Racing Bulls for 4th place, but they decided to pit at the end of this lap. So either they are going for a 2-stop, which I don't think will work, or they are trying, a 1-stop and early, which is easily possible because the hards are an easy tyre to drive on. But to me, this seems like a 2-stop because it seems like we're going to try to do 10 laps on the mediums, 16 laps on the hards, and then 10 laps on the mediums again. Which
we'll see what they do.
I don't think
I got it back. Pim shoots at what is going on down at Ferrari today? They've had 4 incidents now, and they're having a terrible day.
Yeah, it seems like Pim shoots is having one of those races where he can't catch a break.
Down the exit. Toro gets ahead.
Oh, this could get feisty. These two, bear in mind, they're fighting for track position. One's on warmer tyres, one's on newer rubber. So Toro's going to feel it through this middle sector, the lack of grip from new tyres. And Pim Shooter, I mean, well.
He might be dying.
And he's taken out the pit lane entry, brake marker board. He's sped in the pit lane. I'm guessing we're going to see a retirement.
Yeah, right on cue.
Perfect. It's not perfect for him, especially.
But you know, yeah. That's right timing. That's unfortunate though for him.
It is indeed unfortunate. These leading 3 are still our 3 musketeers, you could say. This is a nice Red Bull sandwich. Obviously, I mean, if you were to say that in real life, you'd think you can't put Red Bull as the outside of a sandwich, but indeed in Formula 1 you can. Yes. You could say that these 3, considering how far they are ahead of the rest of the field, are having a monster run with the 2 Red Bulls. And they're having a good time of things, but Toro has existed on the circuit there, and Track Racer now he's using his ERS desperately, trying to keep within touching distance of Kevin. Well, this has just been a vicious circle for him because now he can't save ERS. Kevin, meanwhile, chilling with 95% battery, so all what he can do coming off of this corner is just deploy all the way down to 50% and he'll gain half a second. But he has decided to pit instead.
Okay, interesting.
That's a very peculiar decision. I don't think the 2-stop is as fast as the 1-stop. I genuinely don't think it is. You should always push the tyres as far as you can take them. And he does indeed go on to a set of the white wall hard tyres.
You think Genesis gone off again?
Gen CA.
Gen CA, yeah, that's it.
Not a good time for the driver. He's currently sat in the last place of the Cup Runners. Both sets the fastest lap of the race so far, but I'm not surprised at that. He's now going to come out 2.5 seconds behind Kevin. So he's actually done a good job with that undercut.
Nice move.
Nicholson and Toro, I believe, are battling over 8th and 9th. Unfortunately, we can't see that right now, but instead we can look at Vastus.
More spin!
In 4th place, another spin.
Oh, what's his name? It's Williams, P7. Oh, he was on a spin. That's it, yeah, R34 was on a spin. Oh, dear.
Yes. So, not the best of times from him. Vastus is having a good run now. Staying in the DRS of Remus in the Sauber. And he's on the harder tyres. And just good from him. He could potentially shake from moving to turn 1 as Track Racer has decided to come in. Is everyone really trying the 2-stop? I genuinely don't think it's the better. I don't think it's the better strategy. I think if you push out the tyres, you can do a 1-stop quite easily. I did it in realistic performance in a low downforce setup pretty easily, and and it was the better strategy because you were able to hold track position. I don't see why people are trying a 2-stop when I don't think this is good, frankly. But Kevin, he rejoins in 3rd place, but it's in the net lead because the 2 in front of him have not pitted. You can see he is gaining quite a bit, but that's just because of the older hards not being as good as the newer hards. No drivers have many, or not many drivers have penalties. The only to pit are the 2 out front and R34 who saw have a off. So that is all the information we've got on that. And penalties. Only 2 drivers have penalties for exceeding track limits so far. So everyone is being well behaved so far here in Mexico as we enter. We are 1/3 of the way through this race, and considering there is not much on-track action, considering we've not had a safety car to be able to do this, I should do promotions as Vasquez comes in from 2nd place on the field. Pinchuter has left. We'll do some promotions. So if you want to join the league, you can do. You can join it through our Discord, which should be linked or attached to our YouTube channel. You can join there. You can follow us on all of the social TikTok, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and if you join the Discord, you can become a driver, you can become a staff member, you can become a commentator with me and Yoshi, and you can potentially have some action involved that way. As I said, you can just join us and you can potentially do. We did just hit, I think it was 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and we will be hosting a race on, I think it's either the 2nd of November or the 4th of November. Just quickly.
I'll check on that real quick. I think it's next Sunday. So it will be the race.
It's next Sunday on the 2nd of November. It will be hosted at Monza, which is an interesting circuit to drive on. I will hope to attend that race. Hopefully it will go better than the last time I tried one of the...
okay. One of the... Him weren't there for a minute.
Oh, that could have been interesting.
Oh, his ACM gone off. He's got a spin. Oh dear.
ACM has had a spin apparently. And that was for the exit, so he must have had help there to go around, because I also saw a piece of debris. So then, unless he has somehow dropped it on his own for a flat-out corner, he's had help to do that. Tiaz and Track Racer battling. Tiaz has overtaken Track Racer, and that is crucial for track position because those two are actually... Boaty has jumped to both of them. Boaty has jumped to both of them. So that is quite a remarkable revelation in this race. Boaty, who made that error early on, has undercut Tiaz and Track Racer. And he could be right back in, maybe not in the battle for the lead because he isn't that close to Kevin, but he's definitely back in the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th place. And Remus here, 14 laps on the hards. He's the only one who's not pitted now, I think, during this race because R34 finally came in as well as, who was it else? It was Vestas. But if he comes in this lap, I mean, I think he might be trying the one-stop because no one else has tried it, and he's kind of in no man's land in terms of track position. So, as long as he can hold guys like Kevin up considerably, he could be on for it. Tiaz starts fastest lap of the race in his chase for Boaty. He does have DRS indeed, but it's quite interesting to see that even with DRS, he's struggling to gain much on the racing balls. And it is a Racing Bull power, or Red Bull powertrain 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. It's also Noah's Ark grid. Oh, it's not Noah's Ark grid. It's Racing Bulls, Red Bull, Racing Bulls, Red Bull. And if you want to make it 5 blue cars in the top 5, but I wouldn't call the Racing Bulls predominantly blue, so I can't even say that. But we're on lap 16 here in Coast City, and Remus is leading the way, but probably soon lose the lead to Kevin, then Boaty, and Tiaz, who is hot on the heels of the Hungarian Racing Bulls driver. Remus is constantly losing time because the problem is with Remus now, he's pretty much committed to the one-stop, because if he comes in at this point, what is he going to do? I mean, he could do, I guess, 2 stints on medium tyres, but that's really it, and I don't think he'd want to do that. I think he's genuinely going for this one-stop call. He has now, with the DRS, with the ERS, exceeds up to 344 kilometers an hour. That's roughly 220 miles an hour, and gets into third place there. Now he's going to, hopefully for his sake, chase after. But will his teammate either? Well, his teammate's going to have two eventualities here. He's either going to get past Remus instantly, or he's going to get held behind him in the middle sector of this lap, and that could reel Tiaz in. Especially if Remus has good straight line speed, he could be stuck behind this car for quite a while. We now come towards this middle sector, and yes, Kevin is definitely being... But he has a full battery ready to deploy, and Remus has decided to completely let him through. I think that's a super decision, and I think that he's going to lose more time by doing that. You shouldn't be battling necessarily, Kevin, but you should just not let him by, because you're losing time yourself by doing it. And I mean, he might get DRS straight in the next one, but I still think that's a silly option. And they should have made Kevin actually have an effort to get by. DRS wide open for Remus, and he will gain back to that, but he will DRS past this lap. He'll lose enough time during the rest of the lap. It will also mean it's one more lap before Tiaz catches up to him, so Kevin will be happy about that. Meanwhile, Track Racer all over the back of Boaty. And nicely trying to set himself up for a good exit here. But unfortunately clobbers over the curb and makes a small error on the exit of the corner. The Alpine driver looking to see if he can make his way up into fourth place. Boaty now has a penalty. That probably is 4 track limits. Now Tiaz looking to gain on Remus, who is running out of the field.
Yeah, indeed, and Boaty, I think, had that penalty. When did he have that? I think it was just recently, wasn't it? Just looking at the list. Yeah, for exceeding track limits it was. But he has got a warning as well this lap, so he might be building up some more warnings though. But right now, seeing confident people on Remus, is he going to let Tiaz go, or is he going to make him battle? We'll find out. If it was me, land out, because if you're not going to battle, I don't see the point racing right now, so we'll see what he does with DRS, and yep, we're sitting at 210 miles an hour ahead of Remus.
Yep, Remus coming to third there. To be fair, there's not much you could have done in that situation. Track Racer now past Boaty into the first corner as well, so that's been a bit of a point of overtaking throughout this race. Yeah. And now, I mean, Tiaz, the gap is closer than it was in the previous laps, thanks to Remus's slight hold-up job on Kevin. 2.5 seconds in 20 laps, or not 20 laps, 17 laps. Or 17 and a half laps. Can Tiaz do it? I mean, Kevin was so strong in qualifying, and the fact that Tiaz is now lapping better than him gives me worry. Either Kevin is just saving his stuff, not trying to push those tyres too far, or Tiaz is finally getting the hang of things. We're seeing the best lap from Tiaz and Kevin. Unfortunately, I wish that this game had an option to see the driver's last lap, so you can see just how much the driver gained on the previous time around.
Tiaz is faster by 8 tenths of a second on that lap.
Yes. So, indeed, the gap is now 2.5 seconds as one of the hasses has gone off in the middle sector, but unfortunately we haven't seen it. Track Racer now up to P3, and Boaty now overtaking teammate Remus for P4. Yep, Remus is definitely on the strategy. That's the thing. Although, yes, he does have to pit again, so do the drivers around him. That's the case, that's the situation that we're in, and he will have less of an opportunity to get a time penalty. He will have less of an opportunity to have any sort of issues. You lose so much time here at Mexico, because although it's quite a short pit lane in terms of distance, where it's positioned on the circuit, you're on the longest, arguably, I think it's not the longest race in Formula 1 history, in Formula 1 right now, but it is certainly one of the longest. And therefore, like at Monza, despite being a very short pit lane, you lose probably about 20 seconds, I'd say, because you're going 60 miles an hour while everyone else is 200.
Dimash still into 5th place. He is staying out for another one. Like a small laps at least, pretty good can, but straight up on hard, where that goes to, yeah, the other flag Aston Martin, that might be ATM. That's one down, but yes, that gap's going out like 2 tenths of a second. He made a mistake though, so we'll see the gap just going down. We'll keep an eye on it.
We will indeed keep an eye on it. It was a good previous lap from him. He was, as you said, about half a second clear of Kevin, but now errors are starting to creep in. Could that be a tiny bit of dirty air? Obviously, this game is known for its dirty air compared to previous titles. And is that turbulence now finally starting to pay dividends for Kevin and starting to hamper Tiaz? Also, it's a bit cloudy over the circuit. I don't think we're expecting rain, but
there's not blue sky there, so I don't think we're going to see rain at all. With a spin at the back, that might be the winning against P19. He's having a hard day, and he's been disqualified for going completely the wrong way.
Unfortunately for him, that is a disqualification. I'm guessing he tried to try and get the car points in the right way, but couldn't do so. G-Man also into the box.
Off tires, eh? What's he trying to do
I
that
don't.
for?
Fastest lap maybe, or
He didn't have to lose.
meanwhile, the battle over 16th place for the wooden spoon was commencing. We've just gone away from it, unfortunately. But we're now on board with Boaty here, who is in the tracks of track race. So unfortunately, though, makes a small error during turn 2. He gets a bit of oversteer, which then carries through to turn 3. He has to get the car turned back around to the corner without snapping the rear end loose, and lost him enough time that he didn't challenge track racer into the next corner. You can see Boaty, he has a smooth overall style, but his steering style is actually quite smooth. But his throttle inputs are very aggressive, and that's what gives him his kind of raggedy, mistake-prone style. That's a 3 second for Tara, and I believe Boaty may have also gone over track limits there because he was quite far away over. More yellow flags instead of 3 this time, and I believe that might be a lap. Yes, cars getting out of the way of the leaders. Dutchy now on his way into the box, I believe.
Dutchy, yes. Oh, I know, he's got penalty. Going too fast. We'll probably good spare mediums, I'm guessing. When's he off to the pits? He is pitting.
Meanwhile, ACM and R34 battling, and now Remus finally makes his stop along with Nico-san. So let's see what this strategy can do for Remus. He's the only person that's tried the one stop. I think this would have done better work if he'd have been able to hold more people up, because you want to be a hindrance to people on the one stop. You want to be a rolling road, and that's why I love doing the one stop, because I find that my drive style and my racecraft style is more is better for that, because I'd say racecraft is one of my better attributes. Obviously, Remus didn't want to hold people up, which is strange, because that's what you have to do to make the one stop work. But
yeah,
he's going to see if he can do something. He's got a nice bit of clean air here that he can push into, and when the other drivers come in, I mean, he's going to be on back for at least another couple of laps. Hopefully when the other drivers come in around him, and he's got no penalties challenge maybe Boaty or Toro, when otherwise he wouldn't have been able on those tyres. But yes, Tiaz has maintained that gap to his teammate. He's not improved, he's not gotten much better. But something tells me he decided to pit again. He's more through his tyres quite aggressively. I think he might go another set of hards. He's gone for another set of hards. So we'll see just how that phases through for him. He will get a bit of an undercut on Kevin if he can get the tyres warmed up, because it is a very hard circuit. I mean, luckily, you do have lots of high-speed circuit, but overall it is still quite a difficult circuit to warm the tyres up. As now Kevin, you can see, let's monitor the gap to the leader. Currently sat at 23.4 seconds. He is keeping it stable, which is good, and now starting to slightly gain on the leader. The question is, does Kevin finish this lap? And the question is, why is he all of his? Because he's going to gain some while he's in the pit lane. So that indicates that he's not coming in. He needs to deploy that ERS over the coming lap and then he might even be able to go to a set of mediums and have an advantage.
Let's
He's
see.
going to get spicy boats. He is still, for some reason, he is keeping his car at 100% ERS. What he doesn't realise is that when you stay at 100% ERS, it means your car can't recover running. So you may as well, because when you get onto another braking zone, you're going to regenerate about 5% of the ERS. So even if you can just do a burst of the ERS for like 2 seconds, it's still worth it because you'll instantly regenerate to 100. But just keeping it at 100 for corners after corner after corner is wasting potential energy usage. And that's Boaty now past the track racer, and he should have DRS for the next race as well because of the stupid double detection system. And now it makes it a lot harder for track racer. He's trying to go around the outside. Boaty forces him there, and he's managed to get the move done. That was a very good little move from him there. Keeps P2.
Maybe the contact at the end, but yeah, he's up into P2. He's doing well here, and this is my first time seeing him race, so he's doing well to be inside the podium.
Yeah, track racer. He is a somewhat of a Star Wars of VDRL history. But I will just say, by the way, Tiaz might actually undercut Kevin here, because Kevin is not deploying his ERS. What is he doing? That is like, I don't know if he's trying to gift Tiaz the win here or not, because he's now, the gap is now 19 seconds. 19 seconds is the gap.
Come off 9 seconds.
It's gone down 4 seconds. And it's because Kevin refuses to use his ERS and he's staying out. I mean, the only thing I can suggest that he's doing this for is because he's trying to go to another set of mediums. And the mediums will have more grip. As Boaty and Track Racer great positions again down the main straight. Tar into the box for a set of hards. Tiaz now behind Vasquez. Vasquez poses no threat to him.
Going down, the gap's going down. What is Kevin doing? Yeah.
All of this is doing is allowing Tiaz to get into this undercut window. And Toro now comes out of the pit lane in 8th place. Remus now in 6th. So don't really want to stop working out well for him. And I'll be surprised if we don't see Kevin in this lap, because if he doesn't come this lap, he's going to struggle to make up any sort of gap to Tiaz here. Even currently, he's struggling. I don't know why. He's still at 100%.
Yeah. Really
He's not deploying it. He's not picking.
He's going at the final corner every time. Yeah. What is? I don't get it. 100% usage. That's not going anywhere. He's not even reaching 200 miles an hour. He's barely reaching it. 199, 200 miles an hour. We see 210. He's 10 miles an hour slower, and now the gap is keeping going down. See, with the fast of the race as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Kevin's trying this race because the gap is gonna be about, it's gonna be something ridiculous, like 7 or 8 seconds. And I'm sorry, but new mediums are not gonna outpace like moderately aged hard tires by a second lap of race. It's not gonna happen. And he's gonna have to overtake them.
I don't know. I mean, Kevin's been in the league for multiple seasons. Unless I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I was gonna say, unless he's trying to use ERS on mediums, but he can't because you're limited to what you can use. And if you use all of it, you can't recharge. And there was a reduced harvested, so that means you can't harvest much. His ERS, as you expected, in the 100% around the stadium. Will we see him pit? Or how long is he gonna go? Or is he planning to go to SR?
No, he's not going to go for a SR. Soft around here would last about 4 laps. He is stayed out again. I genuinely think Kevin has thrown this race. Unless he's going for the 1 stop.
Going to the end, maybe?
Box.
I forgot 9 laps to go. He's on lap to 16 laps. 24 lap medium. And go. We saw Remus with 22. But the gap, if he's doing 1 stop, the gap's going down too fast.
Is it going down? I mean, he's losing. What was his time last time?
Last time out, Kevin Van Dijk's lap time was last lap time for Kevin Van Dijk was a 1:19.998. Tiaz last lap time was a, let me find it, 119.98 for Ken Van Dijk, 117.991 for Tiaz.
So it's 2 seconds lap. I think that gap will come down. It's not going to be seconds a lap faster for the rest of the race. Obviously, by the mathematics of that, Tiaz will catch him with about 2 or 3 laps to go. But those hards of Tiaz are going to go off. They aren't going to be able to make those gaps. But I think now Kevin has committed to a one stop.
Yeah.
But what would benefit him now would be a safety. We haven't had one yet.
Yeah, he was on third. I don't think he's doing this for the team championship. Why would he be doing that if he's leading the championship by 40 points after his race? So,
Tiaz has just got DRS on the back marker, sorry to interrupt, but Tiaz has just got DRS from the back. And that will give him another like half a second in his chase for the win.
Kevin Knight from slow, 120.013 for his lap time as well. And for Tiaz, his lap was a 17.991 again.
So, I mean, his tyres should remain mostly consistent because at this point, I'm guessing they'll be around 60 to 70% worn. So, unless they properly fall off, when he gets to closer to 80%, his times are going to stay mostly the same. Whereas Tiaz's times are going to get slower.
The 9th down is personal best for Kevin Van Dijk in middle sector. He's not using, he's harvesting, he's literally harvesting ERS 97%. He's charging his battery now, he's charging it way, now he's using it at the final corner. It's same lap after lap after lap, but the gap's gone down slow. It went from 11 to 10.
Yeah, it's going to keep coming down, but as long as he can manage that gap, because if Travis applies Tiaz to position, he could be in the money, Kevin.
Unless if he's waiting for Tiaz to go to second place, then he'll push it. He's 3 seconds back on tractor at the moment, like racer. So unless if Tiaz gets second, I'm not sure if Kevin's gonna he's in second. I'm gonna push it. I'm not sure. We'll see. That might be the reason why he's doing this.
It's a brave strategy nonetheless, because I think in my race, bear in mind I was in a realistic performance V-carb, so I don't know what the tyre performance will be like on that, but I think I did I kicked on lap 14 in my race, and I did 22 laps on the hards. So it is, I think it is possible on in equal cars, and considering that Kevin is a better driver than I am, I think it is easily possible. But it's just whether he can maintain the gap until the end. I mean, Remus has tried the one stop, so he did it the other way around. I wasn't, considering how early Kevin pitted, I was expecting to do the one stop, because usually around here, the one stop, the earliest you can pit is around lap 11, lap 12, and the fact that he pitted on lap 10 kind of threw me a loop there. So yeah, I mean, the gap is now, it's not gone down much, I told you this. The gap was going to, or the deficit was going to reduce. And he's now about 9.3 seconds free. With 5 laps or 6 laps remaining now, he needs to gain 1.5 seconds per lap, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think after initially thinking that he bottled the win by trying to stay out for his second stop, he might actually have this in the bag, you know.
Yeah, it's a back market for where Tiaz is still behind the Alpine. He's trying his hard, but he won't start up on medium, 11 laps clearer than the Alpine, and he's struggling to gain a lot of time in. So I wonder what's going on with Tiaz. Is he dropping his pace now? I'm not sure though.
His tyres will be entering. But basically, each tyre on this game has an initial phase where they are golden, and you will gain like tons of time, whether it be like 2 seconds, 1 second over or win. Then they get into a middle phase where you still gain, but it's a lot less than what it was, and they don't have the same raw grit that they used to. And then when you get into the upper realms, like 60 or 70 or 80%, that's when it starts sliding all over the place. And he's now in that middle. 8 lap old hards will be in that middle phase where they're faster than 19 lap old hard guys by quite a way, but they aren't much faster. They aren't like dominantly faster. They are like half a second to a second a lap quicker. And he has made that move, and he will get DRS for the second straight. The question now is, Can he gain 7 seconds in 5 laps and overtake Kevin?
Like you said, yeah, he needs like an average of just under 2 seconds per lap. But now we'll see Kevin push though. I don't think he wants to because he might risk getting a puncher as well. He uses his DRS a bit more.
Kevin is going to be stuck at this pace for the rest of the race. It's just whether Tiaz will catch up to him. This entire thing is on Tiaz. Unless Kevin, I mean, obviously Kevin is prone to making mistakes, but unless Kevin makes a mistake, I think he's got it. Because not only will, although it is going down fast, check at the end of this lap what their lap times were on this lap. Also, Kevin, is he in DRS range of this back marker here? No, he's not.
90.8 for Kevin Van Dyke for his last lap, and Tiaz 1:17.6.
19.8, so it's 2.2 seconds. That's actually a lot more than I thought. So 2.2 seconds per lap. He's going to catch up to him by the midway point of lap 35. The problem is he will have to overtake him, and I mean, Kevin, this is the reason I think why he's been saving his DRS. Because when Tiaz gets to him, he wants to be able to dump his battery and try and keep him behind. Because if he can keep him behind in the first 2 seconds, he should be fine. On the final lap, if he gets into turn 4 ahead, I think he'll win the race. Because I don't think that Tiaz will be able to make a move into the follow the pole. Also, I would watch out for this back marker because I think Kevin might get DRS not just here, but on the main straight as well. Yes, he will. Kevin does have DRS. That is going to help him greatly. I don't know which. It's one of the Salvers.
Aston Martins.
Sorry, Aston Martins, I believe. It is. I'm guessing it's ACM because ACM has thrown Kevin a lifeline here because that has now given him an extra half a second probably on Tiaz.
20.0 for the last lap, 18.5 for Tiaz, 1.5 seconds quicker. Last lap.
And I bet you the DRS would have played part of that.
Yeah.
That is Vastus is off.
Oh no.
It's such a great for him. It's off, but luckily for him, he's got a 27-second gap to the car behind.
Yeah. Kevin Van Dyke first second 28.7. Tiaz 29.2. Kevin's faster in the first sector.
And that's
yeah, another guy right ahead.
And that is Dutchy. Yeah, not a good race from Dutchy here. Trying to make his way back onto the circuit without getting in anyone's way. Good job from him. Tiaz now.
Oh, got a crash. Servant's gone off.
Servant's gone off. That shouldn't be a safety car. Okay. It won't be a safety car because on the last 3 laps. I'll tell you what, Tiaz might have wanted that a couple of laps ago, but now Servan retires. His Ghost is on the racing line. That should be spawned very soon now. We have 2 laps remaining, or we'll be going on to 2 laps remaining here in Mexico. That gap is still 3.5 seconds. I don't think Tiaz is going to have the minerals unless he actually no. He's going to get DRS. He's going to get DRS off of this back marker.
Yeah, that's my help. 6 tenths quicker for Tiaz, 19.7 for Kevin, like 19.1 for Tiaz. The gap is going down slightly.
That is going to help. It's the same back marker that Kevin got his slipstream from.
Yeah.
And now coming down in towards this first corner. I still don't think it's going to be possible because he's going to. I don't think unless he gets into the DRS range, going on to the final lap, he's not getting this. And he needs to gain 2 seconds in the middle and last sector.
He's inside a Ferrari. That might be G-Man. He's get behind him on purpose to get DRS.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah. Toro and Nico started fighting, and I think Toro's actually had a spin. No, I think Toro's had a mistake. But we'll see what Kevin can do. He is going to get DRS now.
Is Kevin going to get DRS off another back marker?
Yeah, he has got DRS. And that might be that is the Ferrari of the still G-Man. It's the same back mark we saw a minute ago. I think he's stepped behind him on purpose. Will you get DRS? I mean,
also G-Man is on brand new softs.
Yeah. Will Kevin get DRS? That's the question. He does
not.
He doesn't.
Tiaz is now within 1.2 seconds, but we are entering the final lap here in Mexico. Kevin is now doing what we suggested. He is dumping that ARS battery down the main straight, and he now has a gap of 1.4 seconds heading on to the next straight. He's got this pretty much wrapped up, unless he makes some error of unjustifiable proportions. He has got this win, and it's by doing a one-stop, staying on these hards for 24 laps. Yes, it is catching him up, but unless he sends some Hail Mary kamikaze dive bomb into the stadium section, it's going to be Kevin who takes home the trophy. And in the Drivers' Championship, this is a massive result because this is a 20-point swing. If Kevin wins it, we have a gap in the Drivers' Championship of 44 points. If Tiaz wins it, it's a gap of 34 points.
Close.
It's going to be close. He's not got it, but he might send a move into the hairpin. Kevin is going to cover off the inside. He doesn't cover off the inside, but he cannot get by. Tiaz is held up, and the Ferrari's getting involved as well. But Kevin should be able to hold on through one more corner. Here we go, to the line. He's done it. Kevin Van Dijk wins here in Mexico by a mere 0.2 of a second from his teammate, Tiaz Korsman.
Oh
Track Racer will take home third place. Track Racer will take home third place. But that was a great... One more lap, and that would have been 10th battle for the lead.
Oh my gosh, that was close.
What?
He did one more lap. Just one more and he would have done it.
I'll tell you what, if Kevin had had one less help by backmarker DRS, he would have been... It would have been potentially even closer than it already. But that was a fantastic little race here in Mexico City. We've already told you our podium finishes. We'll get through the rest of the order once everyone has crossed the line. But that goes to prove to you that sometimes the one-stop is better. Sometimes the two-stop is better. Sometimes both strategies are just as good as each other. But you need a bit of luck on your side, a bit of back mark. Yes, deserve it. But more rather, it depends on how the cards fall. And unfortunately for Tiaz, he got slightly unlucky, I'd say, with the fact that Kevin got at least, I think, 2 or 3 times he got the help of back DRS. But I suppose Tiaz did then also get help from the same back markers when he caught up to them. So was it fair game? We'll have to ask them in the post-race interview, but we now load into the results page. Hopefully we will see the drivers come out onto the podium and then the final. Because we're currently in a black screen. We do indeed.
I think it's going to glitch.
Fastest lap from R34. Driver of the day goes to Ari Hop, and also most overtakes goes to R34. So good job from him today. But yes, Kevin Van Dijk takes the win and extends his championship lead to 44 points here in Mexico. Tiaz Korsman takes second place, followed by Track Racer, Botti, Nico Sun, Toro, Rimas, Vastus, Luzcek, and Osman rounding out the top 10. Then it's Werner, Ari Hop, ACM, R34, Froby, G-Man, Dutchy, and Serban was still classified despite crashing out with 4 laps remaining. Then Pim Shooter and Yensia. And that concludes the action from a great race here in Mexico City. We will quickly move into the interview page. We will see our top 3 drivers, but until then, we will see you in just a minute. We are now in the interviews pen for what was definitely one of the best races in VDRL history, if not for crazy side-by-side fighting for lap after lap after lap, but for the constant churning away that Tiaz was doing towards the end there, but unfortunately came up just short. We won't go to him first. We will wait, hopefully, for Track Racer to join the call, but if he doesn't, we will indeed go to Tiaz in the interview pen. We're just waiting to see or waiting to hear from our second and third place. and we will see.
He won't join.
He will not join. Start P2. Tiaz is indeed in the call. Tiaz, that was a very interesting race. You tried the two-stop strategy, charging down on Kevin at the end there, up to 2 seconds a lap at some points. Fantastic performance from yourself, but you came up just short. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised I was able to get this close in the first place because going for the two-stop was kind of a last attempt because to me it was clear that I wasn't gonna catch Kevin because my one lap tire advantage was running out, and I think it was pretty clear that I wasn't the fastest this race. So I just went for the two-stop, and yeah, I was very happy with how quickly I was gaining, but unfortunately I just came one lap short probably of winning it, so unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Obviously, both of you were navigating lapped cars at the end there. Do you think that you both got a fair dose of DRS and getting slipstream and getting advantages from the back markers, or do you think that you had slightly less than Kevin or slightly more than Kevin in terms of DRS assistance from the back markers?
I don't know. I definitely got DRS from the back markers a couple of times. I'd say like 2 or 3 times. Maybe even more than that, but I saw Kevin getting some on the mini map as well, and then I'm not sure who got more, but that's just part of it.
Yes. So obviously now, I believe in the championship, you will now have a 44-point gap, #blessed, to your teammates. How are you looking to come back from this? Because obviously last season we saw you and you were winning multiple races in a row and you were super dominant, whereas this year it seems that Kevin has finally come out of his shell and you now haven't won a race in 3 races, which probably, is that the worst winless streak of your VDRL career?
Yeah, I think the championship fight is not over at all. There's a lot of races to go, but it's going to be harder than I first anticipated, obviously, with me missing, I think it was Silverstone, which wasn't great, lost me 50 points, but I think if I got a 50 or like, what was it, like 30-point lead to begin with, I think I should be able to get one back as well.
That concludes my questions for our second place man. I will throw it over to Yoshi if he has any thing to say to our runners-up finisher.
No, but I'm just going to say congratulations on P2. I actually want to say, did you wish, when we saw, I think it was 7 crash, we said in the coach box, like, you wanted a safety car. When you saw 7 crash, it feels like cars early. Did you wish that would be a safety car near the end of the race at all?
No, because I would have run out of tires. I only would have had soft left, so like if it was like 1 or 2 lap, then sure, but if it was like 5, 6 laps before the end, I think I would be cooked because my softs were used and softs are just really bad.
Congratulations on P2.
Thank you.
And now we move to our first place man. He's been on the podium in every single race this season, and this is now his 3rd victory on the trot. He's on a form that we haven't seen in seasons from Kevin. What have you done that's put you in this position? What is different to all the previous seasons where you've let inconsistency or other issues make you fall by the wayside?
I'm gonna be honest. I never practice races, and I started practicing races this season to know the tire wear. Because last season I had like 3 punctures, and that cost me a lot of points. So I said to myself, I need to practice the races in order to have better race pace and to know what strategy I need to do.
Yes, so obviously, speaking of strategy, you obviously did that one stop going ridiculous, like 24, 25 laps on the hard tires. I mean, I knew that the one stop was probably the better strategy, but what percentage were your left side tires on right at the end there?
80%, so it was in puncture.
A puncture.
Yeah, I was going to say. You're
in
going
the
slow.
practice, I got a puncture at 80%, so I was really worried that I would get a puncture, but luckily I didn't get a puncture.
Yeah, you got quite a few of those last season. I do remember. But yeah, that is now. As I said, I've said this to Tiaz as well. It's now, I believe, a 44 point gap in the constructors with not constructors with the drivers with I think 8 or 9 rounds to go. So obviously, if it's definitely not over yet. But with a gap like that, nearly a race wins gap, you could do what Tiaz did and just take a race off, and you could probably still be in the lead unless he wins. Do you feel now very comfortable in your position, or are you still going to push just as hard as you have been doing to pull out this gap?
I will push just as hard as I did the last few races. I want to be more comfortable. I want to have a race win gap, but that will be hard because Tios is a very good driver. But one thing I want to add, my I think second lap in the qualifying was really good.
Okay, we did see that you didn't. You invalidated your third run.
Yeah.
Do you think you could have got into the 1 minute 13s without that?
Yeah. I was doing 37s in the practice, so yeah, I could have easily got in the 13s.
Bro fumbled and was for half a second off his practice pace and was still clear of the field. That is crazy work. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to ask. I don't think so. Yoshi, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm afraid not.
So it seems that concludes our coverage, our racing action, our interviews from today's race here in Mexico City. It was a fantastic thriller. We've had 2 North American continental bangers here in VDRL. Next up, we will be in the full-on season calendar. That is, we will be returning to the home of the league in the Netherlands for Zandvoort. I'm not sure if it's Zandvoort forward or Zandvoort reverse. Zandvoort reverse. So that'll be an interesting one with the pit lane entry there. Well, obviously we will have the 1,000 subscriber race before then, which hopefully I will take part in. But yes, nonetheless, it's been great commentating on a real action-packed race that wasn't necessarily crash bang full of crazy action, but was a slow burner and really provided some quality racing towards the end there. So we wouldn't have done it without these 2 drivers in the call with us, Kevin and Tiaz. But without further ado, thanks to me, thanks from me, thanks from Yoshi as well, and we'll see you all later. And we will come back next weekend for the race around Zandvoort Reverse. Bye.
Bye.